Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Nerd Today podcast. I am your host, your doctor recommended dose of nerdiness, Carlos Rodriguez, aka your Nerd Today. How are you? Hope everything's well. So we got a special episode today. We got a big announcement that we're going to talk about. Obviously, the title gives it away. If you're listening, watching, you know what we're talking about. Come on, guys, Kingdom Hearts 4 is real. But before we get into the announcement and my thoughts and, all that jazz, I got to give a shout out to some special Patreons. That's correct, everyone. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/nerdyday. You are more than welcome to come support me. We have 2 tiers so far, $1 just to help out. Super helpful, awesome. 3 and above, get a special shout out like these fine folks I'm going to give out here. We got Sninja13. Thank you, Jeffrey Frelsher. Hopefully awesome. Those folks are awesome. They are hopefully awesome. They just relaunched their whole thing, so check them out. Susan, and that's it. Thank you to my Patreons. Again, you can support me on patreon.com/nerdtoday. But if you have no bucks to toss, do not worry. This will be on your feeds. Like, share, subscribe, whether it be audio or video. Helps me out either way. So, with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally been announced. That is correct. We are talking about Kingdom Hearts 4. Holy crap. Now, I'd be remiss to say that I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, right? And as we talk about this, I'm going to transition real quick over. I do have a new logo. I do have to update this graphic, but I do have a new logo. You probably saw in the beginning, I have blue glasses now. I like to call version 2.1. But I'm going to have this play in the background. This is the Kingdom Hearts trailer. Kingdom Hearts 4, the Lost Master arc is beginning. And I have some notes here I'm going to read off, and then we're going to go deep, but not like super deep, okay? I'm going to send you to places where you can go get deep dives on everything Kingdom Hearts. So, before we kick that off, just know I am a big Kingdom Hearts fan, not the biggest. Those people will be listed down below, and they are awesome. Please give them a shout out, give them a watch. They're amazing. But we're going to start off here with, if you're watching the trailer, that looks like Endor. And we'll talk about that in a minute, but we're going to go with the press release as this plays. In this announcement trailer, Sora makes his triumphant return with an updated look at the beginning of an epic new storyline titled The Lost Master Arc. Beginning with Sora facing off in a boss battle against a giant enemy, players are introduced to the Quadratum, a large expansive city set in a gorgeous, realistic world unlike anything ever seen before in the Kingdom Hearts series. Fans would be excited to see the return of Sora's well-known companions, Donald and Goofy, in addition to the first appearance of Celestia, a mysterious new character who appears before Sora in this strange new setting. So, we're going to break that down a little bit. That's a lot. It's a lot of words. Pardon me, that's very rude to take a sip, but it's a lot of words, a lot of, synonyms and all that wordy stuff. Wow, I sound like an idiot. So, we have some stuff here. You probably seen it already pop up if you're watching the video. I'm sorry. If audio listeners, there are some quotes from the character Strelitzia that say, when she's talking to Sora, she basically said, for us, this is kind of like an afterworld, almost like an afterlife. So, a note that I have here is Quadratum, which we're watching here as Sora, again, for video watchers, is bouncing up and down. He's like grapple hooking this giant beast in the middle of Shibuya, which is known as Quadratum. Quadratum is like an afterlife for certain individuals. We're going to get to some spoilers of Kingdom Hearts 3, obviously, and part of the mobile game, because Charlotte actually is a character from Union Cross, a mobile game that, funny enough, has a story. Oddly enough, here you go. This is the Master and Masters, if you're watching. Which is also, again, this is all super. If your head's exploding, please don't. We're going to go very light details on this Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. Celestia showed up in Union Cross, which is a mobile game. about like kind of the first like or some of the earliest Keyblade users. Um, and I'll get into some of her info in a moment. But Celestia dies. She is murdered before the Keyblade War, the one that's always been told in Kingdom Hearts, the Great Keyblade War. She dies before that. She is a victim of the dark machinations of what's going on in the world. Sorry, audio listeners, that just went down the wrong throat. Play. There we go. Sorry about that. Anyway, a seasoned podcast host will not die on you, but for it's a shame as I pass away on you. Anyway, there we go. Sorry about that. Again, I would cut it, but Patreon supporter Jeff loves these things. So this is specifically for Jeff, me almost dying and keeping it in video and audio. So sorry. So anyway, Quadratum is like an afterlife. So there's a possibility that Celestia is here because she passed away. She's been waiting here for how knows how long. And as the Sora is here because he used too much of his power and died. He rewrote time. He saved Kari and his friends, defeated Xehanort, but it was like, hey man, we warned you. You did too much, and because you did too much, you gotta go. And he kind of got to say bye to his friends, and then he faded away. And the secret ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 shows him waking up in Quadratum. As the Master of Masters looks at him, looks at a normal looking moon, and does the little heart to symbolize he's trying to open. Seems like he's trying to open Kingdom Hearts there. And as well, then on the other side you have Riku waking up in Quadratum, which we don't see in this trailer. He should be in Quadratum. I feel like I'm just talking nonsense. It's Kingdom Hearts, and it's cool nonsense. It's happy nonsense. It's whimsical nonsense. That makes sense. But yeah, Riku should be there because of the stuff that happens in the Melody game that actually is important. He does cross over to this afterlife to help his friend Sora. So I can't wait to see what he looks like in this new engine. But with that out of the way, yeah. And also a stretch. Let's talk about that. The beginning for us looks like Andor, whatever you want to call it. So maybe some Return of the Jedi. Maybe we finally get a Star Wars world. Maybe we get a lightsaber Keyblade. That'd be really cool. But that did look like an ATST foot, like in the top right corner. Super quick. Anyway, Celestia is. This is from the Kingdom Hearts wiki. I will actually link this as well. Celestia was a Keyblade wielder who appears in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. She was a member of the Dandelions and was chosen by the Master of Masters to lead a union after the first Keyblade War. Like the other new union leaders, she was given a book with laws set by Master Ava. However, in the end, Celestia was struck down by someone who stole her book of laws and took her place as union leader. She was also the younger sister of Lorium, another Dandelion union leader. That's a lot. Again, her wiki would be linked down below if you want to go deep dive on her and who she is and who the Master and Master is and fall down that rabbit hole like I used to. Master Ava, we have seen again in the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3. So this is just a deep dive for Kingdom Hearts fans. Quadratum, on the other hand, again, this is from the fandom wiki. Quadratum is the main setting of Verum Rex, a video game originating in the Toy Box world of Kingdom Hearts 3. In the secret ending, Yozora. Both Riku and Sora wander the streets of Quadratum. While Riku walks around the city, he is closely observed by Yozora atop a skyscraper. Elsewhere in the city, the Master of Masters stands atop another skyscraper and frames his hands in the form of a heart over the moon, alluding to Kingdom Hearts. So, yeah, that's kind of like a super brief summary with some stuff you might not know if you only played 3 of the Kingdom Hearts games sprinkled in there of this trailer, right? Some new details too. I want to shout out Audrey on Twitter. She's at AI it'll be listed now. I'm gonna butcher her Twitter username, and I don't want to do that. Some new details she got from like press and stuff from the event. More about Kingdom Hearts 4 will be revealed much later, and will not be presented at like E3 or anything, even though we don't have E3. The trailer is captured entirely in real time in Unreal Engine 4. Kingdom Hearts 4, the game proper, will use Unreal Engine 5. That literally just came out in Japan as of like global launch last week when it got announced. It got released everywhere. And according to Epic, you're able to move your stuff over very easily. So they're able to move all the assets over and update the stuff in Unreal Engine 5. The logo font change means a new chapter. Worlds are currently being developed. The narrator, someone we know, which I think it might be Yuzora. So that's a lot. It's craziness, right? A new Kingdom Hearts, not too far after Kingdom Hearts 3, and I think I'm gonna shout him out, Christian Buckley over at Joy Clicks. I'm gonna have some links down to his videos. He has a reaction video as well for Kingdom Hearts 4. It's interesting, right? We have this new trailer and a faster pace than we got between what I call mainline games, right? I would call Birth by Sleep the last mainline game before 3, and then not too much info on 3. And then a big delay. I mean, completely canceled. Not canceled at one point, but redone to move over to Unreal Engine 4. It was a long road to get to Kingdom Hearts 4, obviously. And again, there was Union Cross. There's these mobile games that, oddly enough, are super important now. This is going to be difficult, and that's something I want to play off of. Not play off, but I guess expand more. Some gripes I have with Kingdom Hearts. Like, Kingdom Hearts is cool, man. It's a little confusing. I think if you're an anime person like I am, I think it's easier to get into Kingdom Hearts. I think it's easier to kind of accept a lot of the BS that happens in Kingdom Hearts, because you like anime. Kingdom Hearts 3 has problems. One of the problems being what I called early on Twitter the Halo effect. And as well, I was talking to someone who also has a big Kingdom Hearts podcast. I'm going to try to actually bring up the Twitter handle right now while we speak. But it speaks to me that Kingdom Hearts 3 felt a lot like Metal Gear Solid 4. And this is a Devin, an Oath to Return. And yeah, he has, I believe, his own podcast. But you know what? I will. It's at Verum Dex. It's good. That's actually a good handle for a Kingdom Hearts fan. But we got not getting into it, but we were talking about it, and one thing that I find interesting is that it Kingdom Hearts 3 did suffer from a MGS4 type thing. So if you played Metal Gear Solid 4, if you're a big Metal Gear Solid fan like I am as well, they packed in so much into Kingdom Hearts 4. I mean, it was like, we're closing everything we can. You're going to see all the people that you haven't seen in a long time, people you might not even know of. You want to know what happened to Aqua and Ventus and Vanitas and, all these people. Here you go. This is the epilogue to Birth by Sleep, basically. Hey, man, you want to know what happened to Riku? Hey, this is that. This is that, sequel. This is the end of that. Hey, you want to know all the Xehanort stuff? All right, too bad. We'll give you maybe some answers, but it's still super confusing. And then we'll introduce new stuff, which is I don't know, kind of frustrating, I guess. But it fit a lot, and there's a lot of fan service. And I think, unfortunately for me, I didn't mention this in the Twitter thread when we were talking back and forth, but I mentioned it on KFGD's chat. I felt like it was beholden to too much Disney stuff. A lot of the worlds that felt awesome to me, and I was actually talking to my Red Hood, and the Red Hood to my Nightwing, Joey, who's also a big Kingdom Hearts fan. 3 suffered because Frozen, it's too beholden to the story of Frozen, like where Toy Story was almost like a pseudo sequel, and it's kind of free of the constraints of following what happened in Toy Story 1 and 2. Same thing with Monsters Incorporated. Same thing with Big Hero 6. Those three happen to be my favorite worlds, especially Big Hero 6, because they weren't, like I said, beholden to what we saw before. We had established lore. If you, I felt like you were pigeonholed if you somehow did not watch these films. If you watch them, I felt you got more out of it. I think they did a good job. But like Frozen felt ham-fisted. Tangled, I was super excited about because I like that movie more than Frozen, and it is better than Frozen. I will say that out loud, and I mean it. I said it with my chest. It was weird not having Mandy Moore do her voice, but she also technically hasn't been in a Kingdom Hearts game since Kingdom Hearts 1, where she was Aerith. Funny enough, to be cool if Aerith was in this game. And also, this is the thing too. We haven't seen much Final Fantasy people. There's for it kind of be an epilogue for so many stories. We also haven't got any epilogues for Final Fantasy stuff. So hopefully, this will be a return to form with Kingdom Hearts 4 and the Lost Master arc. But I mean, that's kind of the issue, right? That's the one, right? Like we've seen so much of. I want to say like fan service and all of this stuff, and yet not everyone was satisfied, as Devin mentioned, and they're right, like it was rough. I think I'm in the camp of Kingdom Hearts fans that want to just have Kingdom Hearts stuff, less Disney stuff. I think that may be a better option to go. But again, who am I? I honestly am not a game maker. I'm a fan, but I don't know if a full Kingdom Hearts or now with the introduction of Yuzora, that's obviously Nomura getting his Final Fantasy Versus 13 that he never got to do, and it got turned into Final Fantasy 15 and changed drastically for the most part. Noctis is still Noctis, but not the Noctis I think Nomura won it. And it's kind of confusing, a lot of this one, but I think if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you're happy today. If you're a Cam Hawkins, you're happy today. If you're Alexa Ray Correa, you're happy today. If you're Jonathan Dornbush, you're happy today. If you're Christian Buckley, you're happy today. If you're Kevin Diaz, who's just getting into this world, you're happy today. If you're, a doctor recommended dose of nerdiness like I am, Carlos Rodriguez, aka your nerd today, you're happy. I'm excited. I want to see where this goes. I think the development cycle will be shorter with Unreal Engine, just right out the box. According to Epic, it's easy to, again, as I mentioned earlier, go from 4 to 5. We'll see. I'm loving what I see here. This could be a new introduction to fans, like new fans. But the other thing I wanted to mention, there's this Halo effect. And I didn't realize it was a thing until Gary Whitta mentioned it on Kind of Funny Games Daily. And it's this thing that where like Halo, there's so many important things that happen in Halo lore that we don't see in the games, Like, here's a good example. There is... All right, so you play Halo, right? Let's say you're me. I played Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Reach, and start at 6. Once you get to 5, and one of my favorite games is ODST. When you get to 5 and Locke creates his Spartan 4 team, Gunny Buck from ODST is a Spartan who in his bio hates Spartans. ODSTs are like the top peak of the peak Marine, right? In the UNSC. And he does not like most ODSTs don't like Spartans. Yet he is a Spartan now. And I feel, the game obviously is not well received too many things. I cannot remember for the life of me a moment where they mention why Buck is alone. Why is he with Locke's team? Why is he a Spartan? Why did he go through the program? I mean, obviously Nathan Fillion plays him in both games, facial capture and audio wise, but he's like something changed in that time. And I think it's if you read a book, you find out he lost his team again. Like he actually lost all the members of his team and he's like by himself or something. We as fans should not hear that way. I feel like it's important lore, and obviously, again, not a game maker, so I don't know how you go about presenting this information that's very important in my mind to the player. But that needs to get presented to us in one way, shape, or form. That's not just the books are like, hey, I hope you read the books because this happens. And you didn't know that, right? I see you should read the books. Like, what if I don't have time to read the books? You know, I'm a father of 2 kids under 5. I do this for fun. I play video games. I like anime. I have a wife, and I love hanging out with her and just doing stuff. We're just doing nothing with her, just sitting next to her, just chilling. Like, there's so much time that can get taken and eaten up by just watching stuff or reading stuff, and it's a little frustrating, I guess. To be like, hey, you should have did this then. Well, that's not fair to me as a dad of 2, you know? Like, there should be something, a codex, maybe even, I don't know, like a video. Kingdom Hearts 3 had some videos beforehand that you could watch that kind of caught you up in the story, but they're not great. They don't really cover big stuff that well. So, I don't know. There's frustration that comes with that, and I hope that Kingdom Hearts 4 can do a better job of conveying who Celestia is to the average. There's so many fans, new fans, average Kingdom Hearts fans. Like, I play 1, 2, 3, and now 4. I've never played Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, 365 over 2, like whatever, right? Like, I don't play those games. Tell me who Celestia is. I've never played Union Cross. Like, who's the master and master? Like, you have to do a better job of explaining that to everyone. Just because I know doesn't mean Joe Schmo knows. You know, they have to do a better job at that. And before we end the video, I'm going to give a little shout out to, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I'm going to give a little shout out. I'm going to like find my mouse cursor real quick to some of the podcasts that I'm listening to. And some of the YouTube videos are awesome. So we're going to start with I'm going to call it the master of Kingdom Hearts lore, Damo279 on YouTube. I'll link his channel below. I mean, I beat Kingdom Hearts 3 and went down the deep end of finding out what was going on, who's this, who's that, and that's partially why I know who Celestia is and why I got excited to see her in the trailer. Same thing with Quadratum and everything. His videos are awesome. So you should check them out if you want to go down that deep rabbit hole. As well, I'm going to have the, fan wikis for Celestia, Quadratum listed below. Then I'm going to I haven't done a show with him yet, but I love the guy. I got to talk to him a couple times. Every time, like Kevin does a PlayStation Source video. We're on the same Discord as well. And I just think he's an all-around good guy. He's great TikTok. But Christian Buckley over at Joy Clicks does awesome content over there. Him and Kevin do great work over there, and he has Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal reaction. I'll link down below, and then a simple complexity of Kingdom Hearts video, which is really good as well. And then finally, I mentioned them before, but Cam Hawkins, Jonathan Dornbush, Alexa Ray Korea, Kevin Diaz are all doing a podcast called Unlocking Kingdom Hearts. There's 2 episodes up now. Episode 0 is like their love of Kingdom Hearts, where they're at as fans. Kevin is a new fan, so they're kind of talking about it, all excited about that. And then every episode subsequently, will be an episode dedicated to a game. So the first episode's out. Episode 1 is all about Kingdom Hearts 1. Episode 2, I believe, will be about Chain of Memories, things like that. It's really informative, really fun for Kingdom Hearts fans. I'm sure... I don't know how they're going to talk about this. I was dying to hear Cam on Kind of Funny Games Daily today, but unfortunately he didn't get on. So who knows? Hopefully I'll pop up some other podcasts. Maybe I'll link that below. But these awesome people, man, check them out. They're awesome. And then we'll leave you with a little Easter egg, I guess. I don't know if it's going to be a video. Yeah, I guess if it does get announced. But Kingdom Hearts 4 was part of this NVIDIA leak, right? This is how we're going to end this real quick. It's a little teaser. Not a teaser, I guess. A tease for me. One of the games, most of these games have been announced from this NVIDIA leak. And one of them is on there. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, and my non-binary folk. Final Fantasy IX Remake. I just made a 25-minute video about Kingdom Hearts. Wait until that game gets announced. I'm going to lose my S, guys. I'm going to lose it. Especially if it's a full remake. Not a remaster like Chrono Cross. Like a straight remake. Ooh. I'm going to be unbearable. I'm going to be unbearable. That's my favorite Final Fantasy, guys. I'm going to be unbearable. But I'm going to end the episode right there. Don't forget, you can find this video at youtube.com/nerdtoday. The audio podcast you can find on anchor.fm/nerdtoday. You can find me on Twitter at nerd_a_day. Don't forget someone has at nerdtoday, and I hate them. As well, I will be streaming on twitch.tv/nerdtoday in the near future. Just got this. There's a new HDMI cord. There you go. This looks horrible. Secondary power cord. I'm going to put my PS5 and Xbox Series up here. Plug and play. Just need a video card. The Elgato HD 60X right here. It's going to be right here. Off screen. You guys can't see it. Be right here. Once I save up money. And if you want to help me along that journey, don't forget, I'm on patreon.com/nerdtoday. No bucks a toss. Don't worry. Don't forget to follow me. So just following, supporting, liking, sharing, subscribing, audio, video. And don't forget, finally, I got a wrestling podcast. Apron Work Podcast. We just did our WrestleMania 38 reactions with OG host Walton. He came back for that. A lot of fun. Check us out. We'll love it. So, for your doctor recommended dose of nerdiness, Carlos Rodriguez, aka your nerd today, I bid you adieu. And let your heart be your guiding key.